What's up, Electroheads? Today, myself and the EH team, we're going to be putting 6 of our favourite electric bikes to the test. We're going to be finding out just how far these bikes can really go. Let's go meet the riders.
This is the Ampere Tourer. It's got miles of range, so I call it Tourer the Explorer. And I implore you to give up, guys, because I'm going to outscore you.
I'm going to wow you with this WAU bike. The rest of you are just total losers.
Honbike? More like I've already won bike. Oh no. Oh no.
Nobody defeats the E-Queen.
I'm gonna defeat the E-Queen.
The Estarli 28 is gonna eat you all for breakfast! Ah!
The rules of the ride, they're very simple. All you need to do is stay in max assist. Let's go! First up, we have the Temple Classic. The Classic has been one of my favourite e-bikes. Its mid-drive motor provides a smooth, balanced ride with a tasty range claim of 37 to 75 miles on one charge.
Hello Electroheads! Tim and Bob here. We have escaped the office.
Hold up, this guy wasn't in the epic intro. This is Tim. He's actually taking Meg's place because she fractured her elbow. Poor Meggles.
We're the self-proclaimed cool kids of the Electroheads team. We're running the show, making sure everything happens whilst Ailish, Cole and Co are out filming. Before we start, 100% on the Temple, full battery. So we are good to go, although it's flashing a bit because it's a funky LED screen. But still, ready to roll.
Tim and Bob went for a wholesome day trip around London, riding on a mix of flat terrain and steeper inclines that the Greenwich area brings.
So I don't know how well you can see the screen, but it says we've got 44 kilometres of range left. Just about done a mile, so long way to go still. So after that first ride with Bob, I took the Temple Classic home for the weekend and managed to rack up another 25 kilometres worth of riding. So I brought the bike back into London to see if I could drain the battery with one final ride. Here we go then, one final ride, 21% range, and it says that I've got left 9 kilometres. Let's see how we get on. So there is still 6 kilometres left, 13%, but I'm convinced it's not giving me any more power. I'm having to do a bit more work with my legs. So I just did a little test. I turned it off whilst I was riding along and it felt exactly the same. I think I've killed it.
Congrats, Tim, you've drained the battery. We'll find out the total mileage at the end of this video. Now it's on to Bob.
Hello, I'm Bob. I'm the designer at Electroheads. With the trusty Honbike, I've tested it both in the streets of London and the country lanes of Sussex. For a bike with no suspension and that's built for the city, it does really well on the imperfect roads of rural England. It's very comfortable and lets me have a nice quaint cycle and spot loads of lovely wildlife along the way. That lamb is on a sheep. Back to you, Ailish.
We're big fans of the Honbike here at Electroheads. Stylistically, they've gone for VanMoof's futuristic styling and performance, but at a fraction of the cost. Range claim for this baddie is up to 62 miles on one charge. Both Rich and I have done full reviews and comparison vids on the U4, so make sure to click the link above if you want to find out more. All right, it's my turn next on the Vanpowers City Vanture, a gorgeous single-speed road e-bike that is super lightweight and is arguably the most eye-catching e-bike we've ever had in the studio. The range claim for this one is 50 to 80 miles on one charge. I've been fully commuting with the Vanpower and already racked up a fair few journeys, but I've finally gotten down to low charge. We're on 1 bar left. Death is imminent. Oh wow, I'm really not getting any assist to help me. I think there's maybe like a touch of assist going on, but it's not much. Of course, it is not healthy for the battery to run it all the way down to 0%, so please don't do this at home. If any of you have an iPhone at home, you'll know that it will charge up to 80%, and they'll give you a little notification saying, you've charged up to 80%. That is Apple telling you. That's a good place to stop. Oh, that's interesting. The display is saying I'm going at 26 kilometers an hour, which I'm definitely not. I'm gonna slow down. Still at 26.1. Interesting. Oh, and it's starting to rain. Didn't wear my raincoat, did I? Kablooming full. I know a lot of you have been asking to see us ride in the rain. Well, here you go. It's not glamorous. The lens is covered, I'm covered. I've got a stinking attitude. I got absolutely drenched.
Why are you so wet? Oh my God.
Look how wet I am. Right, this battery will not die. It will not die. It was on one battery bar left. I really thought it was gonna die. Right. Let's try again on a better day. This time I did check the weather forecast. All clear. By now the screen is saying there's 1 bar left, but I'm really not getting any assist. Up next we have an Electroheads classic. It's the Estarli E28 with its large 28-inch wheels, front suspension, 8-speed and covert look. It's proved to be very popular. Range claim on this is between 37 to 56 miles on one charge. Over to you, Cole.
My sister gave birth last night, 3 a.m. Trying to stay awake. I haven't been to bed since yesterday, but all good. Okay, so a quick summary of my range test with the Estarli E28. Countryside terrain, through hills, through a couple of declines, loads of inclines. Having the gears on this bike was an absolute blessing, especially in the hills. At the end of its range, towards the very end, when the battery was already blinking, it would cut out and then cut back in and then cut out until it completely failed. The weight of this bike was a massive bonus as well. It's not very heavy for a full-size bike, and the battery being hidden in this down tube here, that's another massive bonus why I really love this particular bike out of all of them.
Next up is the WAU X Plus Tourer. This is a seriously rangy ride, claiming up to 100 miles on one charge. There's a serious amount of kit and tech on it as well, from LED strip lights that indicate, GPS tracking, alarm systems, and it's very competitively priced for the spec. So our COO James, he thought that he could smash out the 100 miles on this beastie WAU X Plus. So he took it home with him and he kept it in his shed because, funnily enough, running a business, it's tricky to go out during the weekends to go for a nice long ride. So anyway, he wasn't able to do that. We took the bike back after a few months and we actually gave this to a guy called Ethan Overton. Now you might recognize that name, you might have seen him in some recent videos. So he pitched us this crazy idea that he wanted to travel all the way from the bottom to the top of the UK, covering over 1,000 miles. And so he really got to grips with how well this bike performed. And I'm gonna reveal all at the end of this video. Last but by no means least is the Ampere Tourer S Hybrid, built to accommodate longer, more adventurous rides. So good luck, Rich, you could be a while. Range claim on this big battery boy is up to 75 miles if you go for the 16 amp hour option.
Okay then guys, so this is the Ampere Tourer S. It is one of the older models from Ampere, but one that I really enjoy using. Try and not kill a pigeon there. It won the hill test that we did. I think it's got a very good chance of winning the range test as well. It has a claimed range of about 70 miles on the 16 amp hour battery. With a rider of my weight, which is about 85 kilos at the moment, and in the sort of temperature that we're at right now, it's definitely not going to do 70 miles of range. It's just not going to happen. Now we're going up the rather famous and wonderful Tower Bridge. Soak it in. So the problem with not having a digital display on this bike is I don't actually know exactly how much range is left. I can just see I was down to 2 bars of battery out of 4. I'm now down to 1 bar, although it keeps picking up from 1 to 2. Cobbled. I'm just in the city now. I reckon I've got 5 miles left at best. Look at this geezer. That is clapped. Battery is sellotaped for the bike. Oh, I think I might have no power now. I timed this absolutely perfectly. That's how reliable this bike is.
First up, we have Tim on the Temple Classic. Range claim, 37 to 75 miles. The results, I don't actually know. Oh, okay. So the Classic, in fact, managed to conquer 50.5 miles. 50 miles of range is pretty good. Now I have to say, of course, we've had different riders, minus a couple from the start, plus a few new ones. We all weigh different, we've all been riding on different days, we've all ridden on different terrain. Ethan's been going across the country, quite literally, and a few of us have stayed here in London whilst Bob went out into the countryside. So there are variables here, so before you lot hammer down on the keyboards, just remember, we know. Well, one thing I should say is we did all ride on max assist consistently, so there's something for you. So next up we have Bob, who was on the Honbike U4. Now he was riding on countryside lanes, up hills, and also through city streets through London as well, which were quite flat. So the result for that one was 34.7 miles. That's still a really, really decent range, but I'm not surprised that the Temple has beaten the Honbike. Next up. Oh, that should have an S. I always say it without an S. This is plural, Vanpowers. So the range claim on that one was 50 to 80 miles. And like I said previously, this thing, it just absolutely flies. When it is full battery, it really gives incredible assist. It took forever to kill. And in total, 42.8 miles. Okay, so already Vanpowers is coming in hot before Honbike. Temple at the top right now. Can it be knocked off? Let's find out. Who's next? So, Estarli range claim, 37 to 56 miles. Cole, who rode on actually quite a lot of country roads, hills. You took it out to Surrey, didn't you, Cole?
Yeah, loads of country roads.
Loads of country roads. In total, on max assist, 37 miles. So that is right at the bottom of what Estarli claims. So that actually does make a lot of sense. Estarli have been quite accurate here with their range claim because, bearing in mind, Cole was using level 5 assist, the toppest assist available, going up those steeper inclines, etc, etc. So that was going to fall down at the bottom, but it does mean poor Estarli E28. Oh, it's actually just above the Honbike, so Honbike is at the bottom. Let's see who's next. This is a really interesting one. So we all know the X Plus Tourer has a range claim of 100 miles. We all know that Ethan managed to conquer over 1,000 miles over the course of, I think, about a month, just under, on the WAU bike. The max range he was able to get, bearing in mind he conquered some mad hills and terrain, 40 miles. 40 miles. Now, we thought it would be more, but actually when you think about how the bike was used, this does make sense. He was carrying loads of stuff on the bike. He fitted a pannier rack as well. It is also just a very heavy bike, so that whole 100-mile range claim thing, we always knew it was going to be under. It is interesting how it is 60 miles under, but I do think with the circumstances that Ethan was in, it was always going to be a bit lower, so bear that in mind. I would actually quite like to see how the WAU bike performs on like flatter London terrain without any cargo. That would be interesting. So we have one bike left. One bike left, and currently, top right now is the Temple Classic, which, by the way, is the most expensive bike out of all of these as well. I guess you get what you pay for in terms of mileage. Ampere Tourer, let's talk about it. Rich took this baddie around London. He totted up the miles, and in total, he got 34.7 miles. No, is that right? No, that's the Honbike.
I was gonna say.
I read it wrong. Let's cross that out. I'm just building the suspense. Let's see what the real result is. It is, drum roll please, editor. 46 miles. That is decent. The Ampere has really surprised us. And I know it doesn't look like much, but it's in the name, Tourer. 46 for the battery that it is. That is decent. So let's actually look at who is at the top and run down to the bottom. So our winner today, it is the Temple Classic. Are we surprised, everyone? Are we surprised? It's definitely an eye-opener. Right, I'm gonna organize these in order so we can see who's the winner and who's the loser. There you are, everyone. Tops to bops. Winners to losers. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Which one has won it for you today? Which one has surprised you the most? I'll see you for the next one.